All right, well let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into today. So let me switch over to this so I can see a little better. 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so graphics were emailed out. I think I saw them come out actually this morning, of course, with yesterday being the holiday. So hopefully everybody got to spend some time with friends and family and all that. And then also don't forget what the holiday is really about. Knows that's honoring the people that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So don't ever forget that. All right, let's talk markets. So got some good news. Broke down each of the markets that I was looking at, starting with Owensboro. And you can see here, we actually had 37 closings between week 1 of May and 40 closings between week 2 and 3 of May. So if we hit another 40 closings this week, it is a short week. So, you know, it is a little bit of an ask. We'll actually match the 2024 numbers. So we're on track as of right now to match May of 2024 to be the first month that we matched the same amount in 2025 that we did in 2024. So looks like sales are starting to pick up. Look at this. Also, some more good news. Days on market for the last 3 weeks have been between 60 and 70. That's a pretty big difference from where it's been at in the 85 days on market. And we got a little bump back up for at least a 1 week period on our pricing. Still overall pricing versus May of 2024 is still higher. So we are seeing that year over year appreciation, but it's basically gone stagnant for month over month. Another little interesting thing from Owensboro standpoint is look at the active listings. It's continuing to go down. We've kind of stayed around that 240 number for the last 3 weeks, but significantly under where we were at in even March and April. So all this points to looks like the market's starting to heat up a little bit, which is good because Owensboro's been in one of the colder markets of all of our territories here recently. So definitely should be starting to see some more activity over the last couple of weeks. Looking at Henderson, Henderson overall very stable. You can see here they had 18 closings between week 1 and week 2, 12 closings between week 2 and week 3. We just need 11 closings to match May of 2024, which I think is very doable in that market. Also look at their days on market, very similar to Owensboro. The last 3 weeks we've been under the 30 amount. When they've been mid 30s to even 40s prior to that. Pricing is still holding strong, pushing up towards the 200,000 mark for the median price versus last year being 180,000. So definitely still seeing some appreciation there. And then their inventories basically stayed the same all year, significantly up over last year, of course, when they only had 35, but now we're floating between 60 and 70 months. So overall, I would say the Henderson market's probably the most stable of all of our markets, and is even still seeing a little bit of appreciation as well. So good news for any sellers and buyers in that area. Looking at Evansville, so Evansville sales are going to end up matching the 2024 numbers. So they do roughly 800 per week. You can see here like 1,500 to 2,300. Do another 800 and some change, and we'll be right back at May. So sales, and their sales have been pretty much on point with 2024 so far. Days on market, not much shift. We are slightly higher than 2024. You can see they were at 48. Now we're staying in the lower 50s, a little bit better than what it was in wintertime. And as we all know, when the seasonality matters, and I think that's more of a reflection of seasonality than the overall market. Pricing, probably the most consistent market we have. Their median price is 220. It just doesn't move off of that number no matter what you do. And you can see it was that number in 2024. So for the Evansville, if any of you all are watching this later on, basically zero appreciation over the past year in Evansville, which is, hey, it's not going down. So we'll take that in this market. Active listings continue to climb in that area. Overall, I would say the Evansville market is showing some pretty good stability. Would love to see, the listings kind of try to level out, not continue to go up, because if they continue to go up, then that's going to ultimately affect the pricing and the number of sales. Looking in E-Town, E-Town's cool, definitely like the coolest of the markets, not like me cool, but like cold. At least one person laughed. All right, I'm just looking for one laugh. All right, there we go. I got two now. But all joking aside, you can see that, you know, they're doing somewhere around 150 to 175 per week. So if we assume they do let's just say 150 this week, since it is a shorter week, that's going to have them at 600 sales, about 50 below last year. So still not matching last year's numbers, which is why I say it's one of the slowest markets right now. The days on market, you know, we had a little break there where we broke under 100 for 2 weeks, but then they jumped back up. So your average days on market still somewhere around 110, with appreciation still continuing to go up, staying about that 250 number, but going up over the winter time, which we like to see that. Overall, again, just very stable. Listings are staying, they are creeping up and continue to creep up. You know, we can see 512 in May of 2024 all the way up to 770 as of last Friday. So again, it looks like from a pricing standpoint and an active listing standpoint that we're seeing more activity. It's just not translating into more closings in the E-Town market just yet. And then Louisville, sales are going to be down slightly. So you can see where we're at basically 300 sales a month. So you add 300 more, or a week, 300 more on here. We're still about 100 short. Days on market is pretty low, staying underneath 30 until pending. And then their median price basically it's actually been down year over year, but they kind of caught up to 285, 750 is where they need to be. And they got up to 285 for the last 3 weeks and a 291 the week before that. So again, Louisville is kind of, again, that like level no appreciation type thing. And I point this out because I know a lot of us don't sell in Louisville, some do, but it's important to note, like if we look at what's happening in Louisville, Evansville, and Elizabethtown, that's a really good indication of what's most likely going to happen eventually in Owensboro and Henderson, because it always starts in the bigger areas and the more populated areas and then moves down. E-Town being the one little difference there is they just had massive growth in the last 2 weeks, and everybody there bought homes when they moved in for that Ford factory. And I think now you're just catching the slowdown of that. So it'd be interesting to watch that and see how that plays out. Mortgage rates. So again, where we should be, somewhere overall average of the three main rates being conventional, FHA, and VA being somewhere around 6.4 to 6.3. We are not there. We are higher than that. Last week, we were at 7, basically 7 for conventional, 6.4 for FHA and VA. Right, a little bit of, but basically the same numbers, just slightly up. The conventional is still around 7. FHA and VA coming in slightly higher at 6.3 and 6.53 and 6.54 respectively. So, what's going on in the news and what's driving things? Y'all heard me talk about this a few weeks back, where Zillow came out and announced that if you do a non-MLS listing, they will not allow your listing to be advertised at any point during the listing agreement. So basically meaning if you do a non-MLS and then you decide to go fully active and put it online, they're going to come out and say, nope, take it down. They're just going to remove it. So this starts, their enforcement date's May 28th, but they won't actually start taking listings down June 30th. Reading into the article a little bit more, they're going to send like basically 2 warnings to the agent saying, hey, you need to take this down. It's in violation of our policy. And then they're just going to manually remove it on the 3rd listing. So if any of your sellers are wanting to go non-MLS, make sure that they understand this rule. And that would severely hurt them, not just for the non-MLS period, but for the entire life of the loan. We don't know clarification behind, like, if somebody does non-MLS for 1 week, then, you know, is that going to count? Like, how's Zillow going to look at that? That's the one thing we don't know. So as I find out more, I'll let you know. The other thing to note in that, in the non-MLS as we do it, especially in these markets, as long as you're not advertising in any way, shape, or form, you can still do a non-MLS to lock the listing down, so to speak. So maybe you're not going active for 30 days and, you know, you obviously can't, you have to put it in the MLS within 24 hours. So sometimes we'll do a non-MLS for those 30 days to make sure another agent doesn't come in and sign it, or they sell it without us getting compensation, things like that. As long as you're not doing advertising in any way, shape, or form, you're not in violation of the Zillow rules, as I understand it. It's when you do non-MLS, full-blown advertising, I'm going to try to sell it without syndicating out anywhere else, and then you want to put it back on the website later on. That's when they're like, nope, you're either with us or basically against us. So we'll see how it plays out. but just something worth noting. Next, this was interesting. Unpaid student loans are destroying credit scores. So 5.6 million borrowers had their loans marked delinquent. These are people who basically back in COVID, everybody got their loans deferred where we didn't have to make payments and things like that. Payments started back up a while back. And so far there are 2.2 million borrowers whose credit score had dropped by 100 points and 1 million borrowers whose credit scores dropped by 150 points. So, and I bring this up because this will be a new question that you'll want to make sure you're talking to your buyers with. Do you have student loans, and are they in default or are they delinquent? Because they might not recognize that the credit score went down due to those things. Julie?
Like everyone's
debt to earning ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you have somebody that has 50,000 in student loans, that's now 50,000 worth of debt. And then whatever their payment is, that affects that monthly ratio as well. So I think this will impact potentially, and it's definitely impacting people completely. It'll impact some of your clients as well. There'll be people that want to move this year that may not because of these types of things. So just start working that into your buyer consult.
This will probably hurt like our overall economy because less people will be able to buy.
So it said in here, this probably is going to, like, in terms of buying power, like what people could buy, like we're talking groceries, gas, like not just houses. It'll affect the economy by, it was either 0.1% or 1%. Like in terms of GDP, and which doesn't sound like a lot, but keep in mind how big our GDP is. That's like we're talking billions of dollars. Yeah. So
and this is like my age group, like Gen Z, everyone. I don't know. I think it's scary.
Yeah, I think it affect. I mean, I know a lot of my friends are in their late 30s and early 40s, and a lot of them still have some student loans in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think it'll affect a wide range of people for sure. All right. We do have some good news. The FHFA director is calling for Powell to lower interest rates. Basically, he sent this tweet out, says Jay Powell needs to lower interest rates. Enough is enough. President Trump has crushed inflation, and there is no reason not to lower rates. The housing market will be much better shape if Chairman Powell does this. And it went on to give like 5 different examples. I'm not going to spend your time on that because it wasn't really the greatest example except for 2 of them. But ultimately, more and more people are calling for the Fed to reduce rates. That's what I just want you to hear now. That's a good thing. So inflation is definitely going down from the best we can tell in the most recent data. Today, the consumer sentiment, like how does the consumer feel about the overall economy, and housing stats come out this afternoon. So that'll be really good indicators on, how are people feeling about, the economy. My guess is they're going to say that they feel rough, feel the pain of it a little bit, which will ultimately put even more pressure on the Powell and the rest of the Fed group to lower interest rates a little bit. And of course, we all know if those rates get lowered, usually mortgage rates follow right behind that as well. So, and we definitely got some room for mortgage rates to come down just to get back to where we were even just 2 months ago. So I would love to see a 1/4 point in the August meeting, or sorry, not August. Is there a meeting in June? I don't think there is. July. I think July is the next meeting. So, but I'll keep you up to date with what's going on there. And then I posted this because I know some people used to use LionDesk CRM. I was one of them a long time ago. They are actually going out of business. So Lone Wolf owns LionDesk, and you're starting to see a consolidation of CRMs, which is one of the beautiful things about us owning Command, like Keller Williams owning Command. We don't have to worry about our database switching and going to different things. I know there are some brokerages not locally here that I'm aware of, but like in Columbus and some other places that used to supply this particular CRM to all their agents. Can you imagine if you had to just, with no fault of your own, just completely change and learn a whole new system, right? So that is important news, and we'll continue to monitor that and see if there's more going down. But we don't have to worry about anything as long as we're with what we're using. So fun fact of the day. This blew my mind. I'm not going to lie. I was looking this up and getting ready for this morning, and this surprised me. In Japan, most homes are demolished and then rebuilt every 30 years. So whereas here, older homes kind of have, that nostalgia and people seek those out. Homes over there typically don't make it past 30 years. Once a home is paid off, they will go and knock it down and build a new one. So it's interesting. It's interesting, but it keeps everything updated. Yeah. So, and that's what they said. Said, why are rebuilds so frequent? Well, it appears the answer is mostly cultural. Japanese society has mainly embraced modernity and doesn't tend to attach much sentimental meaning to the homes themselves.
Think about all the junk. Think about all the junky, nasty, not just residential, but commercial properties.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've been sitting here for over 100 years.
I'm guessing they don't flip a lot of homes in Japan.
Yeah, they supposed to break them and nothing.
But imagine what that would do to supply.
I will say this. I was reading a part of this article. It was talking a little bit about the housing in Japan, and their housing doesn't appreciate at all. And I think it's mostly, and it's just me guessing, but I bet it's mostly due to this. Like basically what you pay for a house, it stays that price for a really long time, if not forever.
You're going to take it down in 20, 30 years. Why would it appreciate?
Yeah. It's not a true asset. It's more of just a liability.
Do they get a loan on it again?
Yeah.
Another loan?
Yeah. So they basically pay it off and then start another one. Yeah.
I wonder I just wonder if they have like somewhere for these people to go. Because I mean, if you come knock on your door and say, "Oh, by the way, you're fixing them on your house,"
Mhm.
where are those people supposed to go?
That's a really good question.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder what they do to accommodate that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have public house. So they have like what's the equivalent of our like Section 8 housing? They have something like that, but it's not like, Section 8 housing has this nomenclature here that it's like low income, which I mean it is qualified stuff, but like they're crappy houses, right? But it's not, that's just what's known. I know some Section 8 that's really nice houses, but they have like a federal policy to where they will like basically subsidize rent and stuff like that in order to keep people in nicer houses. So I'm guessing that's how they do it. It's interesting though.
I mean, it would suck to pay your house off and all of a sudden I get to go take like.
I'm getting at least 5 or 10 years with no payments before I do anything. I mean, and I don't know if it's here. I know in Canada, there's no red door for them. In Canada, I think it's Canada, the most that they'll finance homes is typically 20 years. So I wonder if Japan does something like that as well. Yeah.
And I wonder what their median price is as well.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find out.
It can't be that bad if they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
No. And their building prices it's not bad there at all. So, all right, let's see what we got going on. Training schedule DTD2. If you're following along, May 26th, contact everybody with the last name N, starts with an N or an R, and send out texts on ease. We also have our contracts and our technology training this Thursday, so be sure to attend those. We're going to do possession agreements, so early or delayed possession on the contracts, and then how to do property searches through Paragon on the technology side. We also have what makes new Jago Homes Energy Smart coming up on the 29th, which is Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Thursday. That'll be from 12 to 1, and lunch will be served. So if you want to learn a little bit about new construction and eat some free food, then come hang out with us at noon. And then we have our ALC meeting at 1 o'clock Central, 2 Eastern on the same day. Broker open. We also have, this is the only broker open I could find. I did double check and make sure there weren't any new ones posted. So John Reynolds over on his Saddlebrook Trail, and that'll be from 11 till 12 o'clock. So starts here in about 10 minutes. And they are doing a little gift card giveaway there as well. All right. Which wraps up our post-Memorial Day market expert. So now any new listings coming on the market from this weekend for those of you who decided to work over the holiday weekend? Okay, well, I got one. 2265 Meadow Hill in Deer Valley. It's 1,683 square feet, something like that, just under 1,700, 289.9. They're getting photos this morning. We hope to have it on either late tonight or tomorrow. And we have basically 45 days to get that under contract. So if you have anybody that's looking in Deer Valley, It's the best price per square foot home that's a single level in the whole neighborhood right now. A nice flat backyard, pretty just a good all around house. So if you keep an eye out on that, showings will start tomorrow as soon as we can get in the MLS.
I should have one on 136 here in the next, well, it's probably going to be 3 weeks. It's a little over 4,000 square feet. It's just over 2 acres. New roof. It's got backup generator, concrete driveway. It's going to be a really nice house. And then I've
Nice.
got another one in McLean County that should go active in the next month. It's 9.4 acres. It's got a 30 by 50 garage, concrete floors, power. It has a mobile home on it though.
How much is that one? Do you know?
That one's going to be around 150.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Anybody else got anything coming up, even if it's a few weeks out? Any price reductions or anything you need help selling?
Yeah, Maple by the Health Park and Freeman Avenue.
I still can't believe you don't have an offer on Freeman.
I'm showing it today.
Please sell it. Or I'll bash my brain in. What else? I've got the car lot still on 9th. It's pretty, I mean, I can get it down to like 150. So my thought would be buy it and